In this video, I'll go ahead and test out 5 iPhone Magsafe cases that claim to have the strongest Magsafe magnets in them for your iPhone. And by the end of this video, we'll find out which one is the strongest Magsafe magnet case for your iPhone 12 or iPhone 13 series models. Hello guys, and welcome back to TechUp. Today is going to be an interesting video where I'll be testing out 5 iPhone Magsafe cases that seem to have the best magnets in them for all the Magsafe accessories that you would look forward to attaching on your iPhone. So I went ahead and selected these 5 cases based off my online research on what many people have mentioned across Google and Reddit to see which one truly packs the strongest Magsafe magnets in it. All these cases are going to be tested on my iPhone 13 Pro Max, but most of them are available in other options for the iPhone 12 and 13 models, such as the Pro and Mini series. But before I determine which one has the strongest Magsafe case, I'll go ahead and show you each and every case and mention everything I can about each one, and afterwards I'll test out the Magsafe magnets with various Magsafe accessories, which will include an Apple battery pack and a Spigen wallet that I have. I'll then tell you my personal opinion of how each accessory snaps into place and how well they hold these accessories. Lastly, I'll use a digital Gaussmeter cause
yes, science!
And it will help me with measuring and detecting how strong the magnets are on the Magsafe cases, since this is a measuring tool that can determine the strength of magnets. Both Gauss and Tesla are the units for this measurement, but both measure the same thing in different increments. With every case I test, I'll list the values of each, and in the end, I'll discuss those values and eventually give you my take on the strongest case. So the cases that I'll be covering in this video will be in this following order, and feel free to skip ahead down below. Now, the first case I tested was Apple's Magsafe Silicone case for my iPhone 13 Pro Max. This case is also available for all the other iPhone 12 and 13 series models, and I wanted to check this case out first since it sets the standard of how their Magsafe magnets are on their cases. Considering Apple has created this unique magnetic design on the back of their recent iPhones, you'd think they would have the best and strongest magnet for all the Magsafe accessories. But before I went ahead to test the magnet on this case out, the case itself was the same like all the other Apple silicone cases. The design and material is identical to what we've seen from Apple, and I really like the feel of this case and its slim profile. The silicone is soft and grippy, and you would think it leaves a lot of fingerprints, but it really doesn't as much. The buttons also feel great with their soft touch, and it's an easy case to put on your iPhone. Furthermore, it offers full protection without exposing any parts of the phone. And for someone like me, that's important, so it fully protects my phone from any nicks and scratches when or if I drop it. Now, when testing the Magsafe accessories on the Apple silicone case, the Apple battery pack snapped into place pretty well, and so did the slim Magsafe wallet I tested. When checking to see if the battery pack and wallet would fall off the back of my phone when I shook it several of times, both stayed on fairly well, and when I grabbed both of the Magsafe accessories from the back of the iPhone when they were attached to the case, both of them also managed to stay attached even when shaking them quite a bit, which was great to see. This case also held on well when I placed it on my Magsafe charger, and it wasn't as easy moving it when it moved from side to side, so the silicone offered good traction when placed on this charger. Also, the lower magnet below the magnetic ring offered great lower magnetic pull to keep the accessories in place without having them to move freely. However, the true strength of the Magsafe magnet would be found with a Gaussmeter. When testing out the Tesla values on it, the case came in around 23 to 30. And the highest Tesla reading I got on this case was 39.5. As for Gauss, the highest reading came out to 432. And after testing this case out, I definitely noticed how much better this case is compared to some previous Magsafe cases I tried out in the past. As for the Mous Infinity case, which was the next case I tried and tested for my iPhone 13 Pro Max, it seemed like it was quite durable and protective. And after using it for a bit, it certainly stands out to be that type of case. It's offered in almost all of the iPhone 12 and 13 series models, and on this case, the buttons were a little harder than the previous Apple Silicone case since this is made out of a clear crystal plastic construction, so the fitting is going to be pretty tight as it was more challenging putting this case on my phone. But overall, the case is fully protective and it felt like it would definitely withstand some pretty hard drops. But what I didn't like was how much of a fingerprint magnet this case was, and how slick and slippery it felt in my hands. When I went ahead and started testing out the Magsafe magnet on this case, the Apple battery pack and Magsafe wallet snapped into place, but it didn't feel like it had a lot of magnetic pull as the Apple Silicone case did with these accessories. When I went ahead and started to test out how well it would hold with me shaking the case with the battery pack and wallet on it, it managed to stay on. But when I went ahead and started testing out how well it would hold when grabbing the Magsafe accessories from the back of the phone with them on and shaking them, it didn't manage to stay on the case. Therefore, proving that it failed this test and exhibiting that the magnet on this case wasn't that strong as some may have mentioned it being. On top of that, when placing it on my Magsafe charger, you could tell it doesn't hold well in place, as it was easy to rotate the phone when it was charging thanks to the plastic material it's made out of. Furthermore, the lower magnet beneath the magnetic ring wasn't as strong for the Magsafe accessories to offer lower magnetic support for them, causing the accessories to move more freely. And when it came down to testing the strength of the Magsafe magnet on the case with the Gaussmeter, the average readings of Tesla came out to 22 to 35. But when measuring the highest Tesla reading for this Magsafe magnet, it came in at 36.5. And as for Gauss, it came in at 336. So when comparing it to the Apple Silicone case, it shows that this case wasn't as strong. And after measuring it, I definitely stand by these values and readings. Now for the third case on the list, which is the Moment Magsafe Case, it's a great bioplastic TPU case that has a smooth touch texture feel to it and offers a nice textured grippy design on the back. It's a solid case that is offered in almost all of the iPhone 12 and 13 series models, and when using the buttons on it, I liked how they were firm to the touch, and I liked how the case overall seemed more durable than Apple's Silicone case, as it felt much more inelastic and not as soft as Apple's. With this case, I did notice that you occasionally get some fingerprints here and there, but it wasn't as bad as Mous's Infinity case. As for the M-Force Magnet Array, as Moment likes to call their proprietary MagSafe magnet design, it felt like it had more magnetic pull than Mous's Infinity case, and it was on par with Apple's Silicone's case. And when putting the Apple battery pack and Spig and wallet on this case, it felt like it snapped into place right away and it held up to my shake test for both of the accessories. But when I grabbed the accessories when they were attached to the case and shook my phone with them on, they fell off right away, and not passing the test like the Mous case. However, when testing out the Magsafe charger with this case, it attached into place really well and didn't move as easily as the Mous case did. But just like the Mous Infinity case, the accessories seem to move freely towards the lower part of the Magsafe design on the case, as the rectangular magnet wasn't as strong. As for the Gaussmeter test on this case, the average Tesla readings came in at 24 to 36, and when measuring the max Tesla reading, it came out to 40.2. And in Gauss, it came in at 426. So looking at these values, it was relatively close to Apple's Silicone Magsafe magnet and north of Mous's Infinity Magsafe case. And from my personal experience, those readings were just as accurate with how I felt with the strength of the magnet on this case when trying it out. For the fourth case that I tested and tried out, which is the Phone Rebel Gen 2, it's a case that offers a unique aramid fiber weave design on the back of it. And when trying this case out, it felt just as durable as the Mous Infinity case thanks to the hard, durable plastic material it's made out of. The buttons on this case were similar to the Moment case, and it felt like this case offered a lot more protection, just like the Mous case, with a very similar design in and out. The best thing about it is that it comes with a cleaning cloth and a screen protector for your phone. However, since it's for an iPhone 12 Pro Max and not an iPhone 13 Pro Max, you're probably wondering, is this case available for the iPhone 13 models? And the answer is no, since they only have it available for the iPhone 12 series models. So I'll advise you now, don't buy this if you have an iPhone 13, since they don't have it available for it. But I bought it for testing purposes and wouldn't advise you on buying it for your iPhone 13 Pro Max, since you see that the camera is bigger on the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 12 case won't fit properly. However, they do have a Flex Series case for the iPhone 13 lineup, but at the time of this video, it was unfortunately unavailable for me to review, and it's been pretty hard to get. However, the magnet on this case is the same as on the Phone Rebel's Flex Series case, and Rebel claims that its MagSafe magnet is 30% stronger than other original MagSafe magnets on other cases. And I have to say that their claim was indeed accurate, since right when I placed the battery pack and MagSafe wallet on the back of the phone, the magnetic pull was the best I've tested up until this point. It snapped into place right away, and when performing the test with shaking these accessories, they stayed on really well. And even when I grabbed them when they were attached to the back of the phone, there was no way they were really coming off with several shakes. When placing this on a MagSafe charger, it magnetically snapped into place a lot better than the previous cases, and it didn't move as much. Also, the lower magnet beneath the ring of this case was much better than the others, and it really provided solid magnetic support for any MagSafe accessories that were attached, so they wouldn't move freely. Now, when testing out this case, it was a case that certainly exhibited how strong the magnets are, with an average Tesla range from 32 to 50. As for the highest Tesla reading, it came out to 73.2, and the highest reading for Gauss came in at 802. So with these readings, it certainly showed how much stronger the magnets were compared to the rest of the cases, and I definitely agreed with the results that were measured on this case. Last but not least, the Magbak case was a case I wanted to save for the end because it packs a unique magnetic design with more magnets than expected. The case is available for all the iPhone 12 and 13 models, and it comes with two mag sticks, which have 3M adhesive backing on it, and it can be attached to anything that you'd like your phone to be magnetically mounted on. In terms of the quality of this case, it's very similar to Apple's Silicone case with its soft touch and its elasticity. Even the buttons were similar when using them, but this case was just as bad as Mous's Infinity case with getting fingerprints all over it. It also left some easy scratches and scuffs when magnetically attaching to the accessories or any other metal surface, but it does offer more protection around the edges than Apple's Silicone case. However, when going straight into the magnets on this case, it had just as good of a magnetic pull on all the MagSafe accessories as the Phone Rebel Gen 2 case. The Apple battery pack and MagSafe wallet snapped into place and stayed on as well as they did on the Phone Rebel case when I tested the shake test. The MagSafe accessories also stayed on good when I grabbed them and shook them when they were attached to the case. And when placing the case on a MagSafe charger, you probably guessed it. It was just as good at staying in place on the charger when compared to the Phone Rebel case. But one thing that this case wasn't good with its magnets was that it didn't offer lower magnetic support for MagSafe, since the design is missing a lower rectangular magnet beneath its ring that's usually found on all the other MagSafe cases, therefore having MagSafe accessories move more freely. But hey, with this case, you're able to magnetically attach it to almost any magnetic surface, such as a metal door or even the exterior of a car.
What?
And when it came down to measuring Tesla and Gauss on this MagSafe case, the Gaussmeter provided the highest readings I've seen out of any of these cases. The average Tesla readings were well over 50, and the highest Tesla reading came out to 128.7, while the highest Gauss reading came out to 1,427. When testing this case out, I was expecting it to be similar to the readings on the Phone Rebel case, and they turned out to be relatively north of it. So after testing out all of these, it looks like this would be considered the strongest case in this video based off the readings. However, there could be some inaccuracy in my Gaussmeter readings, but after running these tests with my Gaussmeter more than a couple of times, I do stand by the values of all these readings since my personal experience with the MagSafe accessories on the cases would show the same results that were shown on these Tesla and Gaussmeter readings for each case. And after testing out all these iPhone cases, it's pretty evident which case or cases are the strongest for your MagSafe accessories, and to me, there were two that truly stood out to be considered the strongest MagSafe case, and those two were the Phone Rebel Gen 2 and Magbak case. Both showed their strength with the accessories and drop tests with them on the case, and they were the only two that passed these tests better than any other case. Even when putting these cases into my pocket, they were really strong with still managing to hold on the accessories fairly well, unlike the others that just attached right away. Now, the Magbak case consisted of the strongest magnets out of all the cases I tested, and it was a clear winner for the Strongest Magsafe case since it had the highest values of Gauss and Tesla readings in this video. But for my tests with these cases, I noticed that the Phone Rebel Gen 2 was slightly better than the Magbak for Magsafe accessories, since the Phone Rebel case had the same look and design of what's on most Magsafe accessories, with an even magnetic circular ring and a small rectangular magnet below the ring. While the Magbak didn't really have this type of similar design. Even though it has a magnetic circular ring, it's not fully and evenly distributed with magnets, since it has areas that don't have magnets within its circular design. Plus, it doesn't have that small rectangular magnet below the ring, like on the Phone Rebel case. Therefore, the Magsafe accessories you'd use on the Magbak case, to me, didn't feel as snappy when I would be attaching them to the case, since it doesn't have an even amount of magnets and it's missing a rectangular magnet below for more lower magnetic support. But the Magbak case does hold up to be the best and strongest case for when you want to apply it to any metal surface. When I applied my iPhone and the Magbak case onto some sheet metal, it magnetically attached to the surface and stayed in place firmly well when compared to the other cases. I also could attach this case to a metal door and the exterior of a car, and it really amazed me with how strong the magnets were in it to hold my phone firmly in place on these surfaces. In the end, I have to say the Phone Rebel Gen 2 and Magbak case are the best and strongest Magsafe cases that I've seen and tested in the video, and the Apple Silicone case is slightly behind them compared to the other two. Anyways, I hope this video gave you some insight on how strong these Magsafe cases are, and I hope it helps you in determining which case you'd plan on getting. If you like this video, please smash that like button and hit that subscribe button if you're interested in more comparisons like this in the near future. And like always guys, I'll see you in the next one.